Coloring books are really doing well on Amazon right now, but did you know that you can make huge profits by selling coloring books for toddlers on Amazon KDP? Now, if you look at my screen right now, you can see this simple bestseller toddlers coloring book, and you can see that this coloring book has already amassed over 7,000 purchase reviews. And if this coloring book is selling at about $6, that means this coloring book has gotten over $47,000 alone. And this one beside it also is as well a bestseller, which has also amassed a whole lot of purchase reviews and a whole lot of revenue. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to create your own coloring book for toddlers and how it starts selling on Amazon KDP. Now, I'm going to be walking you through every step from the generating of the images, designing of the pages, and publishing to Amazon KDP. Now, to create this kind of coloring book for toddlers, we're going to be breaking it down into two parts. Now, the first part will be the designing of the coloring book. And under this part, we have 5 simple steps. And the first step is you want to find a theme for your coloring book. You can easily come up with one for yourself, or better still, you want to go to amazon.com in an incognito tab on your desktop. Doing this will help you to be able to see actual coloring books that have ranked to the top instead of coloring books based on your previous search results. And then you want to search coloring book for toddlers. That way, it's going to give you the coloring books that are already doing well, and you can pick a theme from there. Now, picking a theme that is actually already doing well on Amazon.com increases the chances of your book being successful because you are leveraging on the kind of themes that people are already actively buying. Now, you can see this is for animals. You can see animals ABC coloring book. If you scroll up, you can also see animals. You can see animals, cute animals A to Z. So to find the best theme that is actually successful on Amazon, you want to first of all look at the number of purchases. For example, you can see this bestseller. It has thousands of purchases. These bestsellers here. You can see this is a bestseller. This is also doing well. It has thousands of purchases. This one also has some purchases as well, but it is a bestseller. So you want to also consider that. Now, if we look at it, we can see there are animals and you can see sort of like ABC. So the kind of theme that we'll be going for is animal theme coloring book, but more like an A to Z animal theme, meaning all the animals in our coloring book will be listed from A to Z for the toddlers to color. Now, one of the reasons why this kind of coloring books for toddlers are really selling well is because it is a good book for homeschooling kids, because not just is it an activity book where kids can relax and have fun, they also get to learn, and which is why a lot of parents are actively buying such coloring books for their toddlers. So we're going to be taking this as a reference, and if we open it and you look at here, you can see the reading age is from 2 to 4 years, meaning this is a specific dedicated kind of coloring book to a specific age grade. And if you look at here, you can see an example of the kind of coloring images that we will be looking at. And you can see they are really simple and fun, and of course makes it more engaging to toddlers to want to color. Now, to generate this kind of images, we are going to be using a particular AI tool that would help us to generate high quality coloring images for us. So click the link in my description and it will take you to this AI tool. But before we create our coloring pages, we want to be able to know the animals that we would use from A to Z. And if you do not already have animals in mind, you can just easily head over to ChatGPT and just give it a prompt to tell you, give me animals whose name begin with each letter of the alphabet. And ChatGPT is going to go ahead and do that. Now, we may not use all of these animals per se, but this is just to give us an idea should in case we need an animal to fit in. And the next thing we're going to do is we will be going into the next step, which is to decide the specification of our coloring book. Now, your coloring book specifications are basically the specific things or features that you want your overall coloring book to have. So for our coloring book, these are our book specifications. Our dimension will be 8.5 inches by 11 inches. Our number of pages will be 58 pages. Our binding type will be paperback, our bleed settings would be with bleed, and our interior color would be black and white. So we're going to head back to our AI tool and start creating our coloring pages. So first of all, we want to check the free coloring page, as this AI tool has free coloring images that we can easily leverage on. So what we want to do is we'll just simply scroll down and see each of the animals that match with the alphabet. So we're going to start with A, and for any animal we do not see, we can use the text to coloring image. So I searched through the free coloring page and I was unable to find any animal in the free coloring pages with an A. So we're just going to head over to our text to coloring page and we're going to tell this AI tool to give us a particular image. So I said, give me a toddler's coloring image of an alligator with bold, thick outlines. So we're going to click generate coloring page now. We're going to leave it under the prompt enhancer. We're going to leave it under the toddler, reason being that if you see the difficulty levels here, you can see that the higher it goes, the more sophisticated it is. And since these coloring pages are for toddlers, we're going to leave it under toddlers. The dimension is going to be 2 by 3. Remember that we are using the 8.5 by 11 inches, which is more like a rectangle and fits with this one. So our batch, we can create 2, you can create 3 if you want to, but just make sure that you are creating more than one just so that you can have more options. Next thing is you want to tick the high print quality and you want to remove the watermark. Then we're going to generate it now. So now you can see that this AI tool has generated it for us and it's looking so cute. So what we can do is we can pick any one. I'm going to pick this first one here and I'm just going to go ahead and click download PNG. So now once that is downloaded, we can then go to our free coloring pages because I saw quite some animals that are in the free coloring page, so we can leverage on that. So we've done for alphabet A, so we're going to continue with B, C, D. So we can look for something of B, more like a bear. The reason why I'm doing that alphabetically is just so that we do not skip any alphabets. So you can see B and there is bunny. So we're going to open bunny and we're going to scroll down and we are going to look for something that is toddler-like, something really simple and really basic. So this looks super basic and we're going to go ahead and click on it and we're going to go ahead and download it. So now we've done for B, we're going to go ahead and do for C. For C, you can see chicken and we're just going to go ahead and open it. This is a simple outline and we're just going to go ahead, we're going to click on that and we're going to go ahead and download it. Remember that any of the alphabet animals that you can find, we can always use the text to coloring page to generate it, and which is the beautiful thing about this AI tool. Next step we're going to do is we're going to go and look for D. So for D, you can see dinosaur, you can see dog. So let's check dinosaur. So this is a simple one, happy dinosaur face. We're going to click on it. We're going to scroll down and we're going to download. And we are going to continue doing this until we get to the alphabet Z. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And once we are done, we're going to go over to start fixing in our coloring pages. So now we have finished downloading all of our coloring pages that we need for our A to Z animal coloring book. Now, the next step to do is we want to determine and set our trim size, bleed, and margin. To do that, we want to go to Amazon Help Topics, under which we want to go to book formatting and format your paperback. Under that, you will be able to see trim size and all of the others. So we want to click on set trim size, bleeds, and margins. So we are going to scroll down to see the exact trim size that we should be using for our dimension with bleed. And what is bleed? Bleed is simply a phenomenon where the images extend towards the edge. So you can see from this right hand side, this is bleed and this is without bleed. So after the book is trimmed, this is how it will look like with bleed and this is how it will look like without bleed. So we're going to click this one because this is applicable to many of us. This one here is applicable to Japan, and I believe for the most of you that are watching this video right now, this one is applicable to you. So we're going to click on it and we're going to scroll all the way down to find our dimension. So if we look down here, you can see our dimension. However, this is without bleed. So we're going to go ahead and check the corresponding trim size with bleed, which is this one. And we are going to go ahead to impute this in Canva in order to start creating the interior pages of our coloring book. So we're going to simply copy this here. We're going to head over to Canva. We're going to click the plus icon here and we're going to simply click custom size. Then we are going to change this in unit because typically it's always in pixels. So we're going to click this drop down, change it to inches, and we're going to impute our width, and then we are going to go impute our height, which is 11.25, and we are going to create a new design. So now that our design is created, the next thing that we want to do is to set up our margins. Now, if you look at my screen here, I already have my margin already showing here, and if you do not have that, you can simply go to files, click on settings, and click show rulers and guide and yours will be visible. Alternatively, you can also click Shift plus R and it's going to be visible. So now that we have our guide, the next thing is we're going to go back to Amazon Help Topics and see the margins that we are going to be using. So we're going to go scroll all the way down and you can see for the page count, this is the inside and the outside margins we are to use. Now remember that our page count from earlier is 54 pages, which obviously falls in this first row. And for this first row, you can see this is the inside margins and this is the outside margin, which is 0.375. So we're going to go back to Canva to our interior page. We'll simply zoom in and we're going to pull this margin all the way to get as close enough as we can. So I got 0.385, which is really close. You may not be able to get exactly the margin size. However, you want to use something really close and it is better more than less. Now we're going to go up and we're going to pull this down. So we got 0.396 here and this is okay. We want to also do for all these other sides, and to make it easier, what we can do is go to Element, get a square shape. Now we're going to fix the square shape inside this box here where the two margins meet, and we're going to simply resize it. So now that is resized, what we can do is we are going to move it to this next part and we are going to pull our margin over here. Again, we are going to take it all the way down to this end of our interior page and we're going to pull this ruler up to this particular part. So now you can see that all of our margins have been set for the document and we're going to go ahead and delete the square because we have no use for it. So now that we've created our first interior page with the margins intact, next thing we want to do is we want to simply duplicate it 57 times. Remember that our interior pages is supposed to be 58. So we're going to do this 57 times. So we can click this icon here, which says duplicate page. And we can do this 5 times. Then we can simply go to the grid icon just to make our work easier. And we want to simply go ahead, copy it. And we're going to click on this duplicate. So now we have 60 here, but since our pages is supposed to be 58, we can now delete some of the pages. So we're just going to go ahead and delete 2. So now that we have our pages intact, we're going to go back to our very first page so we can start designing our interior pages. So we're going to start with this first one. Typically for the first one, I just like to put in the name page, which is where the owner of the coloring book can just simply put his or her name. So you want to add a text here. So we can write this book belongs to. We want to change the font. I'm going to be using this font. We want to bolden it to make it look really bold. So I can just edit it. I can make the effects, the outline to be black. Then I can make the inside to be white. So we can just thicken it a little. So now that we have that, next thing we want to do is we just want to go and add a line. So we can go to elements and we can simply write line. We'll be able to see several options here and we can just pick one and zoom it out all the way. And we're going to place it here. If we zoom out, you can see it's looking really great. You may want to ensure that it is really centralized. So that's looking good. And the next thing we are going to do is to start imputing our coloring images that we have already gotten with our AI tool. So first we want to upload them to Canva. So now that we've uploaded that, next thing we're going to do is just simply create our copyright page, which will be the back of this page here. So I've gone ahead to add our copyright here. So the next step is now to start imputing the coloring images itself. Remember that this particular coloring book is coloring book for toddlers. Typically for some coloring books, the back is usually left empty just so that when kids are using marker to do their coloring, it doesn't seep into the next page. However, because this is for toddlers typically use crayons to color. So this means that we will be using both the front and the back. And we want to be able to add our alphabet on the left-hand side, then the coloring image of the animal for that alphabet on the right hand side. So if we should look at here, this is actually the right hand side following from the way the book has been designed. So we can just put in some designs here. We can copy this text and go here to add. So we can say A to Z animal coloring book. And we can just simply go ahead to say something exciting like color the animals with your crayons. We can decide to change the font for this. So we can do that, and we can simply remove the effect from this and make the text black just to make it look cute. We can put some of our images here just to make it look cute. So we can have one here and we can have one here. So let's add like a rectangle box. What we can do to make the same box similar, we're going to duplicate it and move over here for the lion to fit in. Ensure it's centralized, and you can see this is looking really good. So now we are going to go and start adding. So this page 4 is going to fall on the left hand side. This left hand side, we're going to be writing our alphabets, and we're going to start with A. So we put in a text and we're just going to write A. We're going to make that really bold. So now that we have our A, we want to make sure that it's centralized, and we can go ahead to also edit the font. So this font is better. I used this font here, and we can simply change the text color to white and put the effect to have black outline. So I'm just going to change it to black. So we have our A, and this is really cute and centralized. Now what we can do is we can just simply add some extra things to make it cute. We can use something like star. So we can just go to elements and type cute star outline. So we want to look for white and black ones. So we can take these 3 stars here. We're going to reduce it, and we're going to put it here. And we're going to take one here, and we're going to put it here. So we can just reduce it. So you want to take note of the size, because that is the size you are going to be using for all the letters and also the fonts. We can go ahead to reduce the effects. I think this too thick. So it's better this way, the thickness here. So next thing is we're going to be adding our animal to the next page. And you can see all our coloring images here that we've uploaded. They're looking really cute, all because of this particular AI tool here. And like I said, this particular AI tool, you can access free coloring pages. You will also be able to convert any photo you have to a coloring image. You can also give this AI tool a text prompt, and it will give you the exact coloring image you want based on your prompt, which is good when you are working with multiple coloring book themes. And to do that, you need to be subscribed to the pricing plan. And for the monthly pricing plan, you see the starter, there's the hobby, there's the professional, there's the business, and you can be able to create up to 5,000 coloring pages per month with the business, which is super good because you can literally do all that you need in creating a coloring book with this AI tool. I've left the link in my description. You want to go ahead, click the link, go and check it out. So now for our animal that begins with A, we're going to be using the alligator, and you can see the cute alligator here. We're going to zoom that out so that it's way bold. Now remember, these are toddlers, and this particular coloring book style are really good because they are good for homeschooling this little kid. So while you have put the coloring image here, you also want to put the label of the animal. So let's add our text to this coloring page here. So we can zoom this out so it's really bold. Then we can also change the font. So we've changed the font. We also want to make it white and of course with effects to be black. We want to take note of the thickness that we use because we're going to be using the same thing for every page of our interior coloring pages. We're also going to make this really bold and centralized. So you can see this is looking great. So this is for A. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do for B. So we can copy this, go to our page here, and we're going to go ahead and paste it. So we're going to edit it and just put B. So you can see it gets easier. Once you do the first one, it really gets easier. We want to ensure this is centralized. And once we've done that, we can add a little more thing. For our B, our animal is a bunny. And what we can do is we can just add carrots around the B. So we can see cute carrot outline. So we can add this here. We can zoom it out, make it really small. And of course, we can duplicate it and put another one here. So now that we've done that, the next thing is to add our coloring image for our alphabet B, which is a bunny. So you can see this is one of the free coloring images, and you can see it has something like a borderline. What you can do is simply just crop the edges out and all the lines will go away. And I'm going to make it super bold, super big. However, remember we want to give a little space below so that we can add our labels. So now that we've added our bunny, we're going to go ahead, copy this here, and we're going to come back here to paste it. And we're just simply going to edit it and impute bunny. I want to make sure that it's centralized also. And we can just make our bunny a little bit smaller. So you can see this is good. We've done for B. We're going to go ahead, copy this, go to the next page, impute it here, and we're going to simply change it to C. Now for C, we are going to use a chick. And for chick, we can just add around the C, we can add egg. So we can write cute egg outline. So we can put one here. So we're going to just zoom it out, make it here, looking all cute. We can also put another one, this broken one here. We're going to zoom it out also and bring it down here. This is looking really good. And the next thing is we're going to go ahead and add our coloring image, which is the chicken. We can go to the edit under the Magic Studio. We can go to Magic Grab because I just want to use the chick. So I can simply click on only the chick and I'm just going to grab it out because I just want to use just the chicken. So every other thing we can delete that so that the chicken can be really bold on our coloring page. Like I said, remember to give some distance below so you can add the labels to it. So now we're going to go ahead, take this here. We're going to copy it and we're going to go back here and paste it here and edit it to put in chicken. You can see this is looking cute. So now we're going to do for the rest of the alphabet up to Z. And I'm going to go do that off the camera. Once we're done, we're going to go to the next steps. By the way, if you are finding this video helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to join the family and do not forget to smash the notification bell icon so when next I drop a new video, YouTube will notify you first. So now you can see from my screen that we have finished with our coloring book. And if we go ahead to the grid view, you can see that we populated everything. Like I said, we are going to be doing for both the front and the back because given that this coloring book is for toddlers, they will most likely be using crayons, which would not affect the other part of the coloring page. So if you scroll down, you can see it's all looking cute. You can see the images are really toddler friendly. And if we go all the way down, remember that our page count is 58. However, given that it is alphabet and we've reached Z, it ends at 55. So we have 3 more, which is a good thing where we can add some fun activity for these toddlers. So if we should click on one and we open it, what we can do is we can copy this text and we can paste it. And now we can change the color to black and we can remove the effects. Then we can write match the object below. We want them to match several objects just as a sign for, homeschooling, engaging their brain. We can go to the element icon here. We can click on shapes and we want to simply go ahead and add some shapes here. So we've added circle. We can go ahead and add a triangle and we can go ahead and add this here. So what we can do is we can just simply reduce the size, ensure they are all the same size just so that, like I said, for organization and so that the coloring book can look neat. So next thing that we want to do is we can change these colors to black or we can use white and give it an outline. So once we've done this, we can simply click on it, click on copy star and paste it here. I think this circle is too thick, so let's reduce it a little. So this is okay. And we can go ahead, copy the star. And once we paste it on another of the object, it will automatically paste every effect that we've added. We're going to also click copy star here and we're going to paste it here. And what we can then do is we can just add some objects here. So we can simply search football outline. And this is good. So we want them to match the shape. Now, once we've done that, we can also go ahead and add another thing. So I also searched triangle object outline. and it has given me a cute piece of a watermelon that we can add. So I'm just going to take this watermelon here. I'm going to paste it here, and we are going to go ahead to reduce the size. So for the start, I can say snow outline, and I'm just going to add this here. I'm going to zoom that out, and I'm going to put it here. And you can see this is good, so the kids or the toddlers can just go ahead and match this. Another thing we can do is we can copy this and say trace the animals below, and we can go to elements and just simply type trace outline. It's going to give us cute traces that they can just easily use their pencil to trace and of course color it. So I can say trace and color the animals below. So I can put this here and I can put this here. So we can increase this here. We can bring this one up here. We can also bring this one a bit up here. And again, we are going to add the names. So we can centralize this, bring it to the middle. So this is looking cute. Trace and color the animals below. I brought this down just so that there's enough room and the fonts are not muddled up there. So now we're done for the first 2 pages, and for the third page, we can add another fun activity, which could be a simple maze outline. So we can copy this again and we can go here and paste it. So we're going to edit it later. So what we can do is we can go to the elements and type simple maze outline. This is much more simple, so we can put this here. So now we have put this here, we're going to go ahead, zoom it out. So now we can add an animal here and something it loves here. So for example, we can add a cute mouse outline. So let's add this mouse here. We're going to add the face here. We're going to zoom it out here. So this will be the mouse here. And then we can add cheese. So we can say cute cheese outline. So we can just add this cheese here. And we can zoom that out also. So what the toddler would do is to simply trace the mouse to its cheese. And we can just easily edit this and say, help trace the mouse to its cheese. So you can see it's looking good. And of course, it's really obvious. What they can do is they can use their crayons to do that. And it's a simple fun activity. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the grid view. We can decide to leave all of the activities for the kids below, or we can decide to go and put it in between the alphabet, whichever seems much more better to you. However, I think I'm just going to take one and I'm going to put it in between. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this one up and we're going to put it in between J and K. So we're going to also add another one. Remember, we want this to be on the left page and on the right page so that the next alphabet can fall on the left page. So we're going to go ahead and put another of our unique brain activity teaser just right beside it. So you can decide to have more activity for these toddlers as much as you want. Now what we want to do is we're going to click on share. We're going to go ahead and click on download. We're going to select the file type and change it to PDF print. We're going to tick flatten PDF. We are going to go ahead and select the color profile and we're going to choose CMYK. This is a pro feature. However, you can choose the other one, or this is actually best for printing. And we're going to go ahead and click download. So now all that is said and done. The next step will be to design our coloring book cover. And we're simply going to go to Amazon KDP cover calculator where we're going to input our book information so that Amazon can generate a template for us. So our binding type is paperback, our interior type is black and white, our paper type is white paper, our reading direction is left to right, our measurement unit is in inches, and our interior trim size is 8.5 by 11. Our page count is 58 pages, and we're going to click on calculate dimension. Now, once we do that, Amazon is going to give us the exact dimensions that we will need to use in creating our book cover. So what we're going to do is we're going to download the template and it will automatically be downloaded to your system. Once it's downloaded, you can see it comes as a zip folder. So what you want to do is you want to click that zip folder and you can see this PNG file here is what we actually need. So we can just move it out. Now, what we are going to do is we're going to start creating our book cover. we're going to go ahead to copy this width size and of course take note of the height. And we're going to go to Canva. We're going to click on this plus icon. We're going to click on custom size. Make sure your unit is in inches. We're going to input the width and we're going to input the height and create new design. What we're going to do is first of all upload the template that we've downloaded from Amazon KDP. So now we will then upload it to our cover page and we're going to drag this all the way down. It should be a perfect fit because we use the actual size that Amazon gave to us. The essence of putting this here is just so that we can take note of these pink lines, which is where the trims will be done, so that we do not put any important text over those lines, because that would indicate that the text will be trimmed out. This is also to show where the barcode be added, so we do not add any important information that should be seen where the barcode will obviously cover it. And what we can do is, first of all, we want to add a color. We can scroll it down and click here and add. So we can make a gradient. I added this here or this, whichever one looks more cuter. So now that we've added this, what we want to do is we want to make this template transparent, just so that we can see what we're doing. We're going to make it really transparent. So now the next thing we want to do is we want to obviously add our text, and we can go ahead and write our text. Click on text, click on heading. For our text, we want to write the name of our coloring book, which is my A to Z animal coloring book. We can zoom that out. We can reduce it so that some part comes below, and we can take it here. What we can do, we want to change the font to this. This is looking better, and we can make the font color much more cute. Let's make it yellow. Then we can add some effects to the back, make the effect outline black so it's super visible. We can then scroll all the way to increase the thickness so that it looks really good. So now that we've increased the thickness, what again we can do is want to add something just to build the background even better. And we can go to elements and just say simple cloud outline. So we can add this cloud here just so that we can put it behind, and you can see it's looking really good. I know that it is extending towards the middle part, but I wouldn't mind. Then what we can do is, because it's a kids coloring book, we want to add a text also. So let's zoom that here, and we can just say B. We can zoom that out, bring it here. We can decide to also change the font size, and we're going to make the image white with effects that will be black. So we're going to change the color to black, and we're going to add one of our coloring page. We're simply going to go to our uploads, and we can add our bunny here. So you can see it's looking good already. What we can do is we can add some borders line to it, just so that it's looking really cute here. So another thing that we can do is we can decide to color the B, so that one part is colored, the other part is semi-colored. So we can color the B to be yellow. Then we can just go ahead to the elements and just add some carrots here. So this is the carrot I used here, and we can just edit the color because I want the border to be black. So you can see it's black, and what we can do is we're just simply going to go zoom it out, put some of it around here. We can copy that and some here also. We can also duplicate it, make it cuter here, and also duplicate it and put it also here. So this is looking good. And because we have carrots here, I think it would be nice to make the colors complement. So instead of yellow, we can just select green here, which makes it super colorful. If we want, we can also choose to add a box here. We can make the box white. We ensure that the box merges with the other one because we want to use it for the B. And we're just going to go ahead, put it under the B here. I move the B away so that we can create the border, the exact border like this. So what we can do is we can click on this, click on copy style and paste it here. You can see the border is automatically there, and we can move the B over here. And now we are done with the front page of the coloring book. To make it more spicy, we can just look for cute butterflies just so that it makes it really attractive. And we can go to look for really simple butterfly designs. You want to look for designs with colors. So you can see this one here is looking cute. We're going to go ahead and add it to our design. We're going to zoom it out and we're just going to add it randomly to some parts of our designs. So we're going to add it here. We can add it up here. We can copy again and add it somewhere here. We can copy that again. We're going to scroll all the way down and we can add it somewhere here. What we can do now is for the back of our coloring page, I always prefer that we add some of our coloring images just to make them look super cute. Then what we can do is we can go to our coloring images and we can begin to add some of them. We can add this one here. So we're going to crop out the lines. Remember, this is one of the free coloring images and we don't want the lines to be visible. So we're just going to crop it out. We can go ahead and take another one. You can use this one here. So now I've done that, this is looking super cute. And when you look at it again, you can see that we're not having anything spilled to the trim size, like any write up. What we can then do is we can decide to add our name. So we can simply go ahead, input a text, put it here. So I'm going to write by TFI Designs. And of course, I'm going to like to change the fonts. I can go here and choose this here, TFI Designs. I can also make it yellow and the effects can be black. I can also increase the thickness also just so it's super cute. So we want to ensure that the images at the back are centered. You can see the spaces here and the spaces here are equal. And what we can do is once all that is said and done, we can go ahead and delete this template. I would go ahead and apply this copy style here and this also here so that it can also have the same border too. Remember that you can choose to change the color whichever you prefer. You can use a plain color or you can use a gradient. This looks actually cute. I think this looks cuter. Because of the edge here is purple, the wings of the butterflies are blending into it. And we can change the wings to a brown like. We can also do the same for the upper part too, just to make it super cute. So this is looking really, really good. We can decide to add more details like cute dots. So you can see there are cute dot patterns that Canva has also given us. We can go ahead and go and add it to our design, depending on whichever we want. So let's choose this here. So you can see this is looking good. We want to position it to the back so it doesn't fall on any of the images. We can then copy it and post here, also position it to the back. We can also copy it, move it upwards and also position it to the back. We can copy it, move it this way and also position it to the back. We can copy it again and take it here and we can also position it to the back. We can also copy it again, move it this way and also position it to the back. So that's way our coloring book is looking really good, really cute, really fancy. Next thing we want to do is we're going to click on share. We're going to click on download. We're going to go ahead, click on file type, change it to PDF print, flatten PDF, color profile CMYK, and we are going to go ahead as download. So now that we have created the interior pages of our coloring book, we've as well created our cover page. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the next part, which is to go to Amazon KDP. Now, to sign up on Amazon KDP is free and super simple. Once you have signed up and logged in, you want to go ahead and click on create. Once you click on create, you want to choose paperback because that's what we are going to be creating. Next thing, we leave our language in English. If your language is different, you can put that there. So the book title is My A to Z Animal Coloring Book. The subtitle is optional. We don't have a subtitle, so we're going to leave that blank. The series, it's not part of a series, so we're going to also leave that. Edition number is optional. We do not have that, so we're going to leave that. For the author, you want to put in either your name or your pen name, whichever one. So I'm just going to put TFI Designs. The contributor, we have no contributor because we did it all on our own. Now for the description, you want to go ahead and add some description that best describes your coloring book. So I'm going to head to add my description, and the primary audience, we're going to select no here. For the marketplace, we're going to leave it at amazon.com. For the categories, we're going to select categories, and we're going to go ahead, children's books. Subcategories will be activity, crafts, and games. The subcategory will be activity books. The subcategories will be coloring books, and it will be non-fiction. And we're going to save this category. The keywords we are going to be using is the keywords that we will find on Amazon, because those are what people are actually searching for. So if we say coloring books, you can see for toddlers 1 to 3. So we're going to take that. We're going to paste that here. You can see coloring book for toddlers 1 to 3 boy. We're going to also paste this here. We can also add coloring book for toddlers also. Then another thing we can add is toddler books. So we can also click that here. We're going to copy that. So we can also paste that here. We can also have coloring book for toddlers 3 to 5. We can have toddler books ages 1 to 3. And again, toddler books ages 2 to 4. So you can see that we have put in keywords based on what is being commonly searched with this. And if you look at it, you can see I'm not using way broader keywords like coloring books or coloring books for kids, because those keywords are typically populated and may most likely hide your coloring book. However, using a bit more specific keywords gives your coloring book a chance to be more visible. Next thing is the publication dates. We're going to leave it here. We're also going to leave this like this, and we're going to save and continue. Now for the ISBN, since we do not have, we're going to click assign ISBN, and Amazon KDP is going to simply assign one for us as it has done here. The print option will be black and white interior. The trim size, we're going to click select a different trim size, and we're going to put our actual trim size, which is 8.5 by 11. The bleed setting is with bleed. The paperback cover finish is glossy because it's kids, and of course, it makes it more fancy looking and boosts the aesthetics. For the manuscript, this is where we're going to upload our interior pages. For the book cover, we're going to upload our coloring book cover also. So now that we've uploaded our manuscript as well as our book cover, we'll then go to this part where it says AI generated content, and we're going to click on yes. Now, this particular part does not affect the visibility of your book at all. It is just to tell Amazon if your book was AI generated or not. So for the text, we didn't use AI, so it will be none. For the images, we're going to use AI, yes. We're going to impute our AI tool that we used. For the translation, none. And we're just simply going to click on Launch Previewer. So now this is the preview of how our cover is going to look like. So if we should scroll by, we will be able to see all our coloring pages and how they appear. You can see it looks good. The essence of this is just for you to know that everything is all good and there is no errors when it comes to the outlook. So now that all that is said and done, if you are okay with how your design looks, you want to go ahead and click approve. So once you've clicked on approve, we're going to go down and click save and continue. Now, once we've saved, we're going to scroll down next and we're going to put in our pricing. The best way to fix in an appropriate price for your coloring book is to simply go to amazon.com and search for similar coloring books and see how they are priced. So I searched for coloring books for toddlers, and you can see it's within 6797 653. However, you want to go in detail to check it, because many of this they charge high because of the number of page counts and the more activities that are in the book. So you want to go open them one by one and see the ones that are around the same page count that you have, and then price it similarly. So for us, I'm just going to leave it at 4.99. You don't want to price all the way higher than your competitors, because you are still fresh on Amazon KDP and you want to be able to have an edge. Also, you don't want to price all the way low because it will affect your price margin. So you can see for 4.99, this is our royalty here. So let me increase it to 5.99. So our royalty is much more better. Once we have put in our price, it will automatically populate for the rest of this Amazon website here. You can go to each of them and edit them if you like. However, if you do not want that, you just want to scroll all the way down. For the terms and conditions, you can see here that it takes up to 72 hours to be available for purchase on Amazon. And this is because Amazon will vet your book for quality, standard, and customer preference. So you want to ensure that you put in enough dedication in creating your coloring book, because this is actually what people will buy. Now, you can decide to request a book proof just for you to see physically how the coloring book looks like after it's being published. Remember, you can always request for a book proof after you have actually published your book. So once all that is set and done and everything is looking good, you want to click publish your paperback. So now our paperback has been submitted, and to increase your reach, you can decide, especially as a newbie, you can decide to run ad with it, and this will put you on the front page of Amazon. You can see all this are sponsored and they are on the front page, and this will help you to be seen by more people who are actively searching for this kind of coloring book. And because the ads makes you more visible, you get more sales and your profit increases. However, if you do not have the budget for running ads, you can as well just publish your coloring book. Remember that thousands of people visit Amazon.com daily, and coloring books are really doing well right now, which is why putting in specific keywords are really helpful in helping your coloring book stand out and be easily visible. Now, just like I said earlier, you can make a huge profit from this by creating multiple coloring books for different age grades and different themes in order to appeal to a more variety of customers. And just like I said, this AI tool will help you achieve that. Now, we have just created a toddler's coloring book. Now, you can also create coloring book for adults as well and publish it. Now, in order to do that, click the video you see on your screen right now to learn more about how you can create an adult coloring book and start selling it